What's up, guys? It's your boy Spidey Studios here, and today I'm currently eating. But I also saw this video that Playback had posted today. Figured I'd give you guys another video from them because I haven't done one lately, and because I have been swamped with final stuff, and then I was able to at least post at least 3 or 4 videos the other day. I posted 2 X-Men videos, and I posted, I believe I posted, damn, I completely forgot. It was 2 X-Men videos and Titans. Now I remember. It was Titans. Yeah, so I posted that. So guys, go check that out in the on the channel. But yeah, so I posted those, and I came home from class and I saw this video I posted. I had seen this video floating around, but I have not actually watched it. So since Playback got to it, I guess I might as well get to it too. So I just want to jump right in and see what this topic is about. So without further ado, let's just jump right in.
Okay.
Aside from his taste in women, but carry on.
What'd you say?
Aside from Jonathan Major's taste in women, he's
Oh,
attractive.
she was just talking about
to
Jay-Z.
go
Go back to Jonathan
to
Majors.
my fucked up point of view, and I understand. I have something tweaked in me.
Okay.
Oh, Jonathan Majors? He's a great
I
actor.
have been admiring him and his work for a long time.
Okay.
I've been looking at his little Vogue at home
It was nice.
videos
It
and
was cute.
everything, and I was like, wow, he is attractive. I like his way of being. I bet he has a white girlfriend. There was something in me that
Hey man, you got too much free time on your hands, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, what? So you're saying because of the things he does and how attractive he is and how much work he's getting, he has a white girlfriend? Like, I don't think that makes sense. Just because a black man got lucky enough to be in Hollywood and star in all these movies, because he's about to be in 2 movies next year. He's about to be in Creed 3, and he's about to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So he's busy. He's a busy dude. But because of all the things he's doing, you assume that he had a white girlfriend? I wouldn't have even assumed anything with his dating life. I don't care. His dating life has nothing to do with me, especially if I admire his work. If I admire his work, the last thing that's on my mind is him having a girlfriend, especially a white girlfriend. Maybe because I'm a dude and I'm not attracted to dudes, but even still, like, that'd be the last thing on my mind. Like, I don't care. So you have a lot of free times on your hands if that's what you are solely concerned about.
Much.
comes out, it's going to be a white woman. And when Antoinette revealed to me that he was in Sweden somewhere with a
Blonde-haired,
white woman,
very white.
it crushed it.
Not even a spicy white.
I don't celebrate that. And me as a biracial woman, I understand that
That's weird, right?
that's weird.
What?
Hold on. Wait a second. So you're telling me that you are a biracial woman who has a white dad or white mom, and you have a black dad or black you have either a white dad or black dad, or a white mom and or black mom, and you don't like that another person from your race is dating someone that's also from your race because you're both? That's ridiculous. Because that reminds me just of that story that I don't know if I'm sure I posted it on the channel. That story with that girl who basically said some disrespectful shit about her dead influential white dad, simply because he was white and he possibly was racist and misogynistic. But she said all that hurtful bullshit to her dad on his damn deathbed at his funeral. And it was just the most disgusting, disrespectful thing I had ever seen anybody do. And it was just insane to me. I think I don't know for sure if I posted that, but because I'm looking for it now. I don't think I did. But yeah, it was a woman who had went viral for basically disrespecting her dad and talking crap about her father just simply because he was white and a man, basically. And I just found that really ridiculous. That's the same thing here, but it's even more ridiculous because you're basically saying you have a problem with interracial relationships as a biracial child, as a biracial daughter. As a biracial daughter, you have a problem with interracial relationships. I find that really weird. That's like you being a white person saying, I'm white, but I have a problem with white relationships. But you're a white person. That's how you were conceived. That's how you were born. How are you a white person who has a problem with white relationships? How can you be a biracial child and you have a problem with interracial relationships? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yo, you was a bi what? You are the product of the thing you despise. That's crazy as hell.
Ooh, boy, y'all lost out here, my boys.
This is like a villain origin
Yo,
story.
you're lost. You are the level of self-loathing is absurd, bro.
What?
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. That means you don't like your parents' relationship? Is that what you're saying?
Can you imagine if they just have like I don't know if they do, but if they have like a healthy, successful marriage and life together?
And she was like,
Hate that shit. I fucking
Right?
hate that healthy shit. Fuck, why did you have to be white, Dad?
I'm not gonna celebrate
And you know it's always the dad's fault. It's always the man's fault in that situation. You know it is. Always.
their children that they have.
Unfortunately.
If they have
Oh,
children.
wait,
so
you're
here's-
not going to celebrate the
Oh my
I'm not
God.
gonna celebrate. I'm
oh,
just
Jesus
saying, like,
Christ.
it's not. It's
Here's
their relationship is not something that it doesn't make me be like, yes, like, you know, some people together, you're like,
even though
I
that's how
love
you got
them
here.
together.
That's how we all got here. A white woman and a black man.
But here's the thing, right?
I'm like
This
that
is-
lady down the street that permed my hair when I was younger, mumbling.
Like, this bitch don't know what the fuck she's doing.
Like,
You know what? But you know what I think that stems from, right? And I think we're seeing a lot more of it now,
Wait,
and
hold
it
on.
gets under.
I'm sorry. Is this the same two girls? Hold on. Are these the same 2-3 girls that went viral like a year or two ago about hating on men who play video games? I remember that video that went viral. They all look very familiar. She was the one, I think, that was advocating for video games and saying video games was fine. Those two were some hateful assholes. But if I remember correctly, it's the same 3 women that got caught up in some bullshit again. All 3, these 2 specifically, these 2 women went viral, if I remember correctly, because they were talking crap about men who play video games, saying that they would never have sex nor date a man who plays video games, simply because they think playing video games as a man is childish, which is insane, or whatever the hell. Or they said that they assumed men who play video games have small areas, which I find really disrespectful, because imagine if a guy were to say some shit like that. Never would happen. But yeah, so you're telling me that it sounds and looks like the same 3 women that went viral for that shit, and now they're going viral again for saying this shit? Like, can y'all just not, like, I'm sorry, can y'all just not disrespect people just for being them? Like, if you don't want to date niggas who play video games, no one told you had to. No one said you had to. There's plenty of hood niggas and hood rats that don't play video games and out here too busy making money, getting shot up and dying. You could do that. Or you can find a healthy, successful businessman that's most likely white and not black, unfortunately, and date him too. You don't have to date a dude who plays video games. That's most of America. You don't have to. Women play video games too. I heard there was a bunch of women that also was hashing at them because it's stupid as hell. But if you don't want to date a guy who plays video games, that's fine. But I find it ridiculous that, from the looks of it, if I want to be honest, they all look biracial. All of them. They all look biracial, mixed with something. They're black mixed with something else, and they're all, mainly her, is saying that she has a problem with interracial relationships. It just doesn't make sense to me.
You know what? But you know what I think that stems from, right? And I think we're seeing a lot more of it now, and it
All
gets
of
under
them
my
mixed.
skin as well. We have
All of them are
been
mixed. Yeah, that doesn't make
ridiculed
sense.
and critiqued on both sides of the fence our entire existence, right?
Yeah, like
Whenever-
that will never ever make sense to me. How is it that all of y'all biracial and all of y'all don't like interracial relationships? And that's where y'all come from. That's what y'all come from. Specifically, that's what y'all come from. I don't come from an interracial relationship. Both my parents are black, so I don't come from that. Does my family have a white relative in our family? Yeah, back in the day. I mean, everybody does. I mean, it's to be expected. But my 2 parents are both black. They're both African American. So I don't have an interracial relationship. It would be stupid if I were to come out on the internet and say that man, I hate black couples. I hate black relationships. I hate black love. I hate all that. When I come from a black family, it's stupid. It's stupid. It'd be the dumbest thing I would ever just say. It's dumb. It's ridiculous. Same thing here. Y'all all mixed. Y'all all biracial. And y'all basically saying you don't like interracial relationships. Don't make sense. Make it make sense, please.
Never white enough for the white people. We're never black enough for black people. For some black people, however we identify, however we choose to participate in cultural conversations, it's always under the magnifying glass. And I think part of what we're seeing now and what I get agitated about is this concept that now, because it's commercially trendy and attractive for people to be in interracial relationships, it's become a presentation of diluted blackness versus its own us being having a mixed experience that is completely separate from everything else. And I think that's the part that I'm resentful about, is seeing, and somebody brought it up to me, was like, well, aren't you happy to see like all these mixed families in Cheerios commercials? And my response is no, because it's not, the storytelling is not a mixed story. The storytelling is, this is what's digestible for white people. This is the version of blackness that works for white people.
What?
Which is not the same thing. So
No, you lost me completely. I'm sitting here dumbfounded by what you're saying. You're saying that it's not our experience, but you're not fully black. Like I'm lost. Like, you're saying it's not our experience. Now I can kind of understand where she's coming from with her saying that. I do admit that most of the time when you see commercials, you do see more lighter skinned black people than you see black people, probably my skin tone, in commercials. Sometimes, not all the time, because there are people who are my skin tone and even darker than me in commercials. So it's not always that, but majority of the time, I could see where she's coming from. But you're saying it's not our experience, but it's not my experience. It's yours experience though, because you're mixed. Most of the kids that you see in commercials are all lighter skinned kids, probably mixed or just lighter skin. That's you. That's you, whether you're interracial or lighter skin. That's you. That's your experience, not mine. I'm a darker skinned person. That's not my experience. It never has, and it probably never really will. So that's not my experience. But that is your experience. For you to say it's not our experience, like you're part of this community as well, you're not. You're a biracial child. Not saying that you're like completely excluded from black people, but I'm saying like, you are a mixed person. Saying that commercials that have mixed kids is not our experience is ridiculous, because that's not my experience. It's your experience though. It's yours. Because that's a representation of you up there on that TV, on that commercial. It's a person with lighter skin tone, whether it's man or woman. It's a person with lighter skin tone. That's your experience. You're getting the representation that you would probably want. But you're saying not our, as in like my skin complexion. I don't know. It just sounds weird.
I'm resentful of seeing mixed race couples when it's like, damn,
But outside of television then, what about if you're just at a restaurant?
I don't mind seeing black women with white men. It gets even more toxic.
Yeah, nah, stop it. No. You completely lost me at that. Completely lost. What? See, now it's not even just about biracial stuff. That's just plain sexist. Not even just sexist. It's just plain disrespectful. It's plain disrespectful. How can you, as an interracial person, and mostly as a woman, because we have to put in that factor too, you have a problem when black men, and I've seen this topic so often, it's ridiculous how often I see this topic. Black women have no problem when a black woman goes outside of her race and dates someone of an opposite ethnicity, whether they're Mexican, Hispanic, Asian, Korean, white specifically. They have no problem with that. But when a black man dates outside of his race, all hell breaks loose. Why? Like, I never have understood that. Why? Why is there rules for you but not rules for me? Or rules for me but not rules for you? why are you perfectly comfortable when a black woman dates a white man or anybody outside of their designated race, but if a black man dates anybody, specifically a white blonde-haired woman designated outside of his race, it becomes a whole meltdown? Keep that same energy on your gender too. Keep that same energy for your gender. I don't see the problem in general. The problem doesn't even make sense. Why do you have beef with people who date outside their race? There are many reasons why people do it. I don't have a problem dating outside of my race. One, because I think personally, dating people within your race specifically limits your options of finding someone. And I think honestly, finding love should not be exclusive to just one spectrum. It should not be exclusive to the gender. It should not be exclusive to the race. It really shouldn't be exclusive to those things. You can date anybody from any gender, of any race, as long as they make you happy. I think that's what's most important. If the person makes you happy, who cares what race or gender they are? Now, obviously, if you're attracted to the gender, that's one thing. But I'm saying, like, in general, I feel like being attracted to one race limits your chances and your choices of, like, finding actual love. And what I mean by that is because you're limiting yourself to one spectrum. Now, personally, I still don't have a problem dating black people. I have a black girlfriend now, so I have no problem dating black people. I personally would prefer to date a black person because that's just what I'm used to. It's what I'm comfortable with. However, if push were to come to shove, I have no problem dating somebody outside of the race. But the fact that now I know in 2022 and 2023 that I already get called out more for my gender than anything else. I get called for spreading, for mansplaining, for being toxic masculinity, for misogyny, for all these things, the Me Too movement, the modern feminist agenda. I get called out for all these things. Even those TikTok search engines I saw recently, where they had the most horrendous men's searches on TikTok that you would never see men be able to post those type of things. But I already have to deal with the fact that society hates me simply because I'm a man anyway. But the fact that if I were to date somebody outside my race, I would get more hate for that is beyond me. That's beyond me. It doesn't make any sense. It never makes sense. I already get disrespected and called out my name for those things I already listed for being a man, not a black man, for being a man. So to say that because as a black man, if I were to date somebody outside of my race, I'm going to get disrespected by people, doesn't make sense to me. You could date whoever the hell you want, regardless if they're outside of your race or not. Like, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, I just find it utterly strange and ridiculous that I, as a man in today's society, in today's world view of things, I already get called out for all the things I listed, for just being a man. But it just doesn't make sense to me. I already get called out as a man simply because of the things I listed in today's society. Just for being a man. Not even, I've told you guys this on the channel before. I get disrespected more for my gender than I do my own race. Like, when I grew up, I expected, because it's something you get taught in school, and it's something you get taught by your own family, that you're going to get more people disrespecting you because of your race. And that's always what I've been told, and that's always what's to be expected. And I can understand telling me that because it could happen. But I'm going to be honest. In my 21 years of living, I've gotten more disrespectful hate for my gender than I have for my skin color. I've only been disrespected one time because of my skin color. I've been disrespected multitudes of times because of my gender. Two things I really cannot control. But it's even more ridiculous when I get disrespected for my gender than my race. Because with my race, at least I expect it to happen. With my race, I expected to get some type of disrespectful comment or backlash because of my race. Never once did I think growing up that I would have to wait until I'm 21 to hear that apparently I'm going to get disrespected for my gender. I never once thought that that was going to be a possibility of any topic for me. Like, I thought I was going to get disrespected more for my race than my gender growing up. Come to find out, in 2022, I get more disrespected for my gender than my own race, which I find hilarious. But anyway, let's continue. All right, let's continue.
I don't know if I'm making this one. Bro. This is one of the videos we might have to quit early. Yeah, we might have to quit this early. Bro, what the fuck is wrong with both of them? What is wrong with them? She is the fucking daughter of a mixed couple talking about how she doesn't respect fucking, oh my god. Who gives a fuck? They're marketing. Of course they want it to be digestible to the fucking masses.
Ooh, what?
Of course they do.
I'm gonna say y'all right now, boy. I
Stop comparing fucking human being relationships to shit in commercials.
Ooh.
Cheerios is not gonna give you a real representation of shit. They're trying to sell you fucking products.
Exactly.
Oh my
Exactly.
God.
They do
It's
not
so
care.
dumb. Fuck.
They're just trying
You
to sell.
present real-
They're just trying to sell food. They're trying to sell breakfast food. They don't give a damn about representation. If they're trying to sell you cereal, they do not care about representation. They're selling you cereal, bro. Cereal. They do not care about representation. They're here to sell cereal, and that's it. Regardless if they have a black boy, white girl, Asian, Korean child, doesn't matter. They're selling you food. They do not care for representation like that. It shouldn't even really matter, to be honest with you. But it is what it is.
Interracial couples because you saw a Cheerios commercial that rubbed you the wrong way? Boy, this is sick, man. Y'all need to be more happy people found love, okay? Instead of trying to dissect their love and do you appreciate it or do you like, well, I'm not happy about it because it's like diluted sense of, and it's palatable for the whites. Oh my God.
Bro, you thought we was in 1957, boy.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, this is where I stopped it. I was like, bro, this is the dumbest conversation from an interracial, from a mixed.
Talking about yo, Caleb, run the tape back. Did she say she didn't respect the kids of a mixed
She said
couple?
she not gonna-
I'm not gonna celebrate their children that they have. If they have
Oh,
children.
that's you!
Exactly. That's what makes it even more ridiculous. She said that she's not going to celebrate the children that an interracial or mixed couple would have when that's literally you. That's literally you. That's what makes it even more stupid. It makes it even more dumb. Again, could you imagine a black person were to say to a black celebrity or IG model couple that, oh, these two black people are together? Man, I ain't gonna celebrate the kids they have together. Like, I'm not gonna celebrate the kids they have together. When that's literally you. You are literally the product of the thing you're saying that you won't respect or you won't get behind. That's literally you. Literally you. It makes no sense. That's literally you, dude. You're saying that you're not gonna respect nor celebrate their children. That's literally you. So you're basically saying you don't respect your own parents for being mixed or being in a mixed relationship and having you. And you're saying you won't celebrate other mixed kids? That's literally you, dude. That doesn't make any sense. Again, if a white child were to say, oh, these two celebrities got together and they're both white, I ain't gonna celebrate the children they have together. That's literally you, dude. How are you not gonna celebrate the kids of first of all, I'm pretty sure they don't give a damn whether you celebrate their children or their life at all. I'm pretty sure they do not give a fuck about you or your celebration of their children anyway. As long as they're happy, they don't care. But for you to outright basically say that you're not going to celebrate the children of an interracial relationship when that is literally you makes no sense. Makes no sense.
You hear that wrong?
I guess she didn't celebrate him.
She didn't celebrate him. So we shouldn't celebrate her then.
Yeah, that's what she said.
No.
All right, she should be never celebrated again.
She shouldn't be celebrated.
She
You gonna have
could
that same
cure
energy.
many diseases, bro, but we should refuse to celebrate
Oh
her.
my-
It's fucking fascinating that we're now developing like emotional ties and association to people that we don't know.
She doesn't know that man.
At
And all of
all.
a sudden said his relationship doesn't matter and the children that he will have in those relationships.
You know my
he
theory is?
disapproves.
I could be wrong. This is my theory. I think people need a sense of community, and when people find it in their blackness, that's like they'll throw logic to the side and side with whatever their community agrees with. So whatever's
Okay.
best for black people,
I
because
can see
that gives
that.
them a sense of purpose. I could be wrong. That's my theory.
But I'll say this before we keep going because
gotta keep going?
it gets even more interesting.
Oh, brother.
So
Oh,
what
no.
these women are, and I'm not saying that their experiences are invalid because there's definitely aspects of interracial or mixed children where they have a lack of identity because they don't know which side
Yeah.
they belong to.
I can
But
see
think a lot
that.
of it just comes with social pressures, and the way that we can remove a lot of those is by normalizing interracial couples. So when
Yeah.
you sit here and you get upset,
Yeah, exactly. I can see why a kid would have an issue with self-identity, especially because their family is from two different races. So if their family is from two different races, they have a problem with identifying with which race. So I can see why that would be an issue. I can see that. I definitely can understand that. But the only way to make that not an issue is if you normalize it. If you normalize interracial couples and you normalize that thing being a thing, then that feeling of interracial children feeling not really knowing how to identify, if you take that feeling away by normalizing more interracial relationships and interracial kids, then I think that would work. That would help with the self-identity issues. But for you to sit there being the product of what you're talking about, being a mixed child, or a mixed person, saying that you don't support other interracial relationships is wild to me. Wild. It makes no sense.
Cheerio commercial and not even look at the positive impact that could come behind that, to where your family members aren't looking at you weird because the other side of your family isn't the same skin tone as them. Like, you're not understanding and grasping the complexity of that is so odd to me. But then more importantly, for her to pick specifically the type of interracial marriage that she's willing to accept is also wild. Black women can date out the race, and do what
Exactly.
they want, but a black man doing no, I just
Can't do it.
You're
Exactly.
toxic. What?
I
Bitch,
don't.
What? Hold on. So you don't like? Oh.
It's toxic. I'm not saying
Wow.
you're
Okay,
claiming
okay,
that
okay,
there's,
okay.
that there's makes
So
any
what-
sense.
but-
I'm just telling you
Ask
how
the
I
question,
feel. It's
Vanessa.
fucked up.
Why do you feel that way?
Because
though?
for some reason,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all of the black women that I know that are in relationship with white men are being loved up. They are exalted. They're taken care of. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he is riding for this woman and
Right.
loves her to death. And I'm
You
like,
don't believe black men do that for white women?
I don't. I guess there's something salty in me that why these men that we admire and are proud of in the ways that they show up in the world as musicians, as actors, as people that now have money, why is their love being projected onto
let me-
a white woman?
But then
Like,
let me ask you.
Dude. Oh, wow. That is fucking bonkers. So basically, she's saying, because first of all, there was 2 points there. She said that she has a problem with black men. The reason she says she has a problem with black men dating outside the race and doesn't have a problem with black women doing it is because when black women date outside of their race, they get loved up, she said. They get loved up. Their white men love them, support them, give them money, give them status, give them all the stuff they want. And then when she asked the question, so you don't think black men can love up white women? She said she doesn't understand why black men that we admire, that have all these great opportunities, great jobs, are dating outside the race. There are multitudes of reasons for that. Multitude of reasons. First of all, it probably because they're just not attracted to black women. Like, let's even go back to the stereotype. The stereotype for white women or white people in general is that they're commercially and entertainment wise more nicer, more softer, more feminine, and all this type of stuff. That's always been like stereotyped. When black women are put in social media or put on entertainment or whatever the case may be, they're always ghetto, they're always loud, they're always disrespectful. It's unfortunate and it's not right, but it is how it's stereotyped. It's how it's commercialized. So that's probably the reason why he dated a white woman, because she's probably more feminine than a black woman. I'm gonna go out and say it. Maybe I could be absolutely wrong, but that's probably the reason he dated a white woman, because the white woman is more feminine than the black woman. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. It doesn't mean it's right, but it's a possibility. But not even just that. I'm sure there are a multitude of other reasons that we don't know, because I don't know the man. I don't know. But there are probably many reasons as to why he decided to date a white woman. Maybe there are personality traits that she had that he vibes with, and he doesn't care what race she is, but because she's sweet, kind, has a personality he fucks with, and all that type of stuff, he don't give a damn what her race is. He doesn't care. As long as she's a person that makes him happy. That's all that matters. And I think that's what should matter to anybody who gets into a relationship. If you get into a relationship, it should not matter the race of the person. The race of the person should not matter. If you get into a relationship with someone, it shouldn't matter what their race is. Like, their race should not matter. They should get into a relationship simply because that person makes you happy. Even if it's someone outside of your race, as long as the person makes you happy, who cares? Who cares? So I think it's really weird that she basically said two things there. That she said that when black women date outside of their race, they date up. Basically, you're saying that black men are average or in poverty levels. But when they date white men, they're higher up or rich as far as society status. So when black women date white men, they date up. They're doing great for themselves. But when they date black men, they're dating average or below average, which is absolutely kind of crazy that she basically kind of said it without really saying that. And then she also said, if I remember correctly, she said that she doesn't understand why influential black men in these industries, in these entertainment, modeling, musician type of fields that have a lot of money and a lot of status and a lot of eyes on them, always date outside of their race. And I don't think it has anything to do with them hating their race or anything like that. I think it's just because, one, it's been commercialized that white women are more feminine than black women, because stereotypically black women are always loud, obnoxious, irritating, overly masculine. It's always been like that in entertainment, in social media, in everyday life. It's always been like that. I've grown up around it, so I get it. It's not great, it's not fair, but it's always been like that. I think you should still date someone within your race. I still think so. But if he chooses to date outside of his race, who are we to say he can't do it? He can do whatever the hell he wants. He can do whatever the hell he wants. He's built up his life and career up into the moment where he can do whatever he wants. If he wants to date anyone from any rate, regardless of status or regardless of following or regardless of how much money she makes, he don't care. As long as the person makes him happy, he could care less. So who are you to say that you don't respect him because he dates outside of his race? I had a lot to say. I'm sorry. I'm going to let the video continue.
Bro, I get tired of this ongoing conversation in the black community as if like there's this alarming number of black men who are just like dating outside their race. When factually speaking, that is not the number of black.
So it says black men are twice as likely as black women to intermarry. Basically, they're saying that black men are twice as likely to date people within their race compared to twice as likely as black women to date within their race. 12% of white people supposedly are men. 12% of men are willing to date within their race, whereas 10% of white women are more than likely to date within their race. 28% of Hispanic women are more likely to date within their race, whereas 26% of Hispanic men are willing to date within their race. 24% of black men are willing to date within their race, whereas 12% are willing to date within their race. 12%. There are more women who would rather date outside of their race than black men. And then there are 36 Asian women who would prefer to date within their race compared to 21% of Asian men. So clearly, based on this stat, whether it's factual or not, I don't entirely know, but I'm sure it probably could be. There are way more black men who are willing to date within their race compared to black women. So if anything, there are more black women who prefer to date outside of their race than black men. So for you to say that you see it as a trend, or you see it as like, oh, black men are always dating outside of their race. They're always leaving us. They're traitors. They're traitors to their own cause, their own race. That's majority of the female population. Majority of black women are not dating within their race.
Black men who are just like dating outside their race. When factually speaking, that is not the case at all. It's just not. And actually, statistically speaking, the more money you make, the more likely you are to date within your own race. And that goes for across the board. So you all picking out these outliers while ignoring what everybody else is doing is so frustrating to me, because you then get to project these outrageous claims of the white man's love is so good to us black women. That's basically what you're saying.
That's basically what she said, bro. Low key, that's basically what she said. She basically said that white men's love is better to black women than black men's love. That's basically what she said. She basically insinuated that without actually saying it. Because she said that when black women, because she says she supposedly has friends who date that date white men, that the white men love them like unconditionally to the utmost ability. But when a black man does it, she didn't say what, but she made it seem like it was average or below average. So you're basically saying that it's better for black women to date white men because they get more love from white men than black men. Which, based on that statistic, seems to be true, because 12% of y'all are willing to date other black men.
That's basically what you said.
Yo, what in the ruckus?
I was
Yeah,
about to
right.
say it.
Just keep going. Talk your shit.
You fucking coon. You sound like a coon right now. You sound like a coon. Oh, that white man love. Ooh, I love that white man love.
Yeah, you definitely sound like Uncle Ruckus, bro. Dead ass, you sound like Uncle Ruckus. It's crazy to me that white man love is it's so good. It's so good compared to that black love. Get out of here. That's basically what you saying, bro.
Fucking coon? Are you serious? You are a fucking coon. But then to act as if like black men can't do it, or when they actually do it, it's given out to white women. No, you imbecile. They date black women all the time. Statistically speaking, they're the group of people who actually date outside the race the most is white men dating Asian women and
Okay, so let's take a look at this. So, about 1 in 5 intermarried couples in the U.S. include a Hispanic husband and a white wife. Okay. So they're husband to wife, wife to husband. So there are 7% more of women. Is it Hispanic women specifically? Okay, interesting.
And dating Hispanic women. That is the biggest portion of interracial dating. When it comes to black men, I've seen numbers at the highest. It's been like 20% of black men dating outside their race, but even then, it's not all just white women. Sometimes it's Asian and also Hispanic women.
Exactly.
But even if you want to go by statistically based off of the actual population, right? Because of course white men are going to date outside their race the most because there's a majority of white men. But the group of people who actually date outside their race the most per capita is actually Asian women. Asian women nearly 50% of the time date outside of their race. Then it's Hispanic men and women are above them, and Asian men are not too close from black men. It's black men. This idea that us black men just leave at a disproportionate rate is ridiculous. Also, for the people out there who want to claim, we're gonna put this shit on the screen too. For the people out there who want to claim that, oh, those Asian women are coming from over.
Among Asian newlyweds, these gender differences exist for both immigrants. 15% of men and 31% women. Jeez. In the U.S. born, 38% men, 54% women. Jeez. While the gender gap among Asian immigrants have remained relatively stable, the gap among the U.S. born has widened substantially since 1980, when intermarriage stood at 46% among newlywed Asian men and 49% newlywed Asian women. So yeah, there are more women out there. There are more women in and outside of the U.S. who are willing to date outside of their race than there are men, Asian men, who are willing to do that. That's crazy.
Overseas, no. U.S. born Asian women nearly 50% of the time date outside their race. So no, bro. This whole plight that y'all black women or mixed women y'all like to put in y'all mind about black men dating outside their race, adding some crazy rate is ridiculous. And FYI, from the bigger scope of things, interracial marriages only take up like 15% of all marriages. It's still a minority. Bro, shut the fuck up.
But
Also a white woman.
But then
like,
let me ask you, with the other women that we looked up to, of course, Serena Williams being one, Eve, and we've talked about
I
Eve so
love
much on this.
Eve.
Okay, so there's women that we've looked up to that we've loved, and whether it be their style of dress. Serena Williams being the best athlete of all time, they chose white men to not only be with but procreate with. So I want to know the understanding of where you look up to black men and you have a disdain for them being with white women, but when we look up to black women, there's almost a celebration around them getting with a white man.
I can't sit here and y'all tell me, help me through this.
you
I don't
was
have
kidding, bro.
You are lost. You were lost, dude. The fact that you can't even explain it yourself is already the problem. The fact that you can't explain this thing yourself is already the issue. That's part of the problem. You're basically saying, because she did bring out a good point. She said that to all the women, especially black women, y'all have looked up to the people like Serena Williams and that other woman she talked about, where they're dating men outside of their race, white men specifically, to the point where they even gave birth to children with these people. And we celebrate when black women get pregnant by white men or when they get into relationships with white men. But when a black man decides to date outside of his race, you say that you're not going to celebrate his kids simply because he dates a white woman? That doesn't make sense to me. Nor will it ever will, and I don't think it ever should. It should not make sense to anyone. The fact that you have an issue with one gender in your race bracket who decides to date someone from the opposite race, whereas you have no issue with people of your own gender and your own race doing the same exact thing, is ludicrous to me. It makes no sense.
You have to
You are
remove.
cool.
You have to remove yourself from your thought. You are so biased because you're thinking about like what will benefit you. You want the love of whatever. It could be a white man. It could be a black man. It doesn't really matter. But you feel like you're losing something when a black man loves anybody from any other race. Hey, look, even if a black man dated another black woman, he's not dating you. It has nothing to do with you. So why the fuck do you care? If you want to adopt all this responsibility for the entire race of black people, then you can do that. If you want to make it your mission to do that, then you can do that, I guess. But again, these are all issues that don't affect you.
At all.
Just be loved by somebody that you love. It's not hard.
And it's even crazy.
But do you feel like you lose anything from Serena
No,
dating
at
a
all.
white
Yeah,
man?
no.
It doesn't matter. That has
And the
nothing to do with
fact-
us.
and the
No, I mean, mainly I would say it's because we're men. We don't really learn. Or I don't say we don't learn from women. We do. There are things that we can learn from women, just like there are things that women can learn from us. I think that's the whole point of two different genders and the other genders out there, is that you can all learn from one another. And I think that's the most important thing that I think some people have kind of lost, is that we can all learn from each other. There are things that I don't know about women, and there are things that women don't know about me as a man. So we can all learn from each other and willing to live and procreate and adapt to one another and making it work. But yeah, like, I don't think I would have learned. There are a few, like, I'll say this. My favorite couple in Hollywood, personally, is Zendaya and Tom Holland. Zendaya is a black woman. I believe she's mixed, I think. She's mixed, dating a British guy. Tom Holland, one of my favorite actors. We share the same birthday together. No one complained about their relationship at all, from what I've heard. Like, I didn't hear not a single complaint. The only complaint that I heard the most was the fact that she was taller than him. That's the most complaint I got from everyone. Everyone that ever talked negatively about their relationship was the fact that she was taller than him. Because it's just so uncommon for a woman, regardless of race, who is super tall to date a super short guy. But Tom Holland's not that short. Now, is he shorter than the other Spider-Man actors? Yes. Is he shorter than most of the Marvel actors? Yes. But he's not that short of a guy. He's not that short. But it was the talk of the town when they got together during this, or when they announced that they were together, during the Spider-Man No Way Home press release and stuff like that. that the talk of the town was the fact that it was so weird to see a tall woman date a short guy. And that brought up a lot of conversations around that time last year where everyone was talking about how ludicrous, especially women were talking about it, how ludicrous it was for a woman to date someone who was shorter than them. They found it ludicrous and found it ridiculous, which is ridiculous within itself. But it is what it is. But that was the talk of the town. But other than that, I didn't hear anybody else complain about their races. I didn't hear anybody complain like, oh, Tom Holland's British and he's dating someone outside of his race. That's a problem. I didn't hear none of that. None of that. From Zendaya's side or Tom Holland's side. None of that. But when you have Jonathan Myers who's dating someone outside of his race, that's a problem? Or Jonathan Majors who dates somebody outside of his race, that's a problem? Like, why? Who cares? He can do whatever the hell he wants. That's his life. He worked hard for it.
The fact that you are a child of an interracial relationship,
It makes
and
it
it's
crazier.
even crazier,
Yo,
bro.
get our parents on the podcast next.
Yo, yes, yes.
I need to hear from them,
You
man.
need therapy, bro. You need therapy. Because something is wrong with you. You're off.
Most people have a preference. Like, if you ask my parents, they'd be like, I hope that I'd marry someone who's Ethiopian. They would say that.
Yeah.
But if I didn't, they wouldn't give me a problem over it. You feel me? So it's like, it's sad that my parents that came from Ethiopia are more open-minded about just relationships and marriage and stuff like that than people born in a country that's all about freedom. It's so weird.
Exactly. I've had that conversation with my parents too. As I got older, and I told them like I don't have a dating race preference. Like I obviously prefer to date women. Like I like women. I'm a straight black man, so yeah. But I had that conversation with my parents, specifically my mom, about if she would be bothered if I were to date somebody outside of my race. She said that she wouldn't mind, but she did say that if I were to date somebody outside of my race, they need to understand and respect the black experience, which is fair. Like, that's fair. They have to understand, respect, and support the black experience. That's fair, and that makes sense. It makes sense. So I can understand that point of view. However, I don't mind if I was to date somebody outside of my race. If I was to date somebody outside of my race, I don't care. It doesn't necessarily matter to me. As long as you don't disrespect me for my race, that's fine. Like, we can make a compromise. We can fall in love. I don't care. But yeah, to hear it's already crazy enough that this woman is basically saying that she has a problem with black men dating outside of their race, but has no problem with when black women date outside of their race. But it's even crazier because you're a biracial child and all of those women are biracial having this conversation saying we don't like it when black men date outside of their race. When that's the reason you came here in the first place, whether it was your black dad or your white mom or your white dad and your black mom, it doesn't matter. That's how you got here. So for you to turn your back on that is weird. It's so weird.
Weird how I don't know. That's fascinating to me.
Very fascinating. And also are products of it as well.
And that's, yeah, that adds another layer to it.
Jeez.
Let us know what y'all think in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed this video and you've watched a few, man, you haven't clicked the big red button, subscribe to the channel.
Yeah,
it
that
helps
was
us
the
out, man. About 45
I don't think I actually reacted to this, but or if I did, I haven't posted it yet. But yeah, that's crazy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this topic. I hope you guys enjoyed my opinion on the subject. If you guys did, let me know in the comments down below what your opinions on this subject are. I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Obviously, no arguments with each other. It's a free space. You talk about your opinions. I'm curious to hear all of the opinions down in the description box below or comment section down below. Drop a like on the video for your boy. Hit the subscribe button to be part of the community. And hit bell notifications so you guys know when I shall post next. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.